Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi. Subject: grave offences under POCSO by the officials of National Institute for the Empowerment of Persons with Visual Disabilities and teachers of Model School for Visually Handicapped, Dehradun. Respected Humble Prime Minister Sir, may we take this opportunity to introduce your kin self to All India Alumni Association of Model School for Visually Handicapped, National Institute for the Empowerment of Persons with Visual Disabilities, hereafter referred to as MSVH, N.i.b.h, which was Reg. Isted in 2017 at Delhi under the Societies Registration Act 1860. Basic purpose of formulation of this association is to work for the empowerment and protection of the interest of present students and alumni of MSVH, N.i.b.h. The association through this letter seeks the urgent indulgence and intervention of your kin self by treating this open letter as public representation on behalf of a weak and vulnerable section of the society, languishing at the margin of the margins of the so-called mainstream of Indian polity. We are deeply and grief-stricken on the unfortunate turn of events. It is our moral duty to draw the kind attention of your kin self on an ongoing strike of students at MSVH N.i.b.h, Dehradun, since last Monday, i.e., the 20th of August 2018, due to the alleged molestation and sexual harassment of visually challenged children studying in MSVH N.i.b.h. As a consequence of this ongoing strike, it has come to light that the music teachers have been sexually assaulting and harassing a number of female students over a long period of time. Social media is full of statements of victims marked as Annexure A, which is more than a prima facie evidence indicating the maladministration and misdeeds in the MSVH N.i.b.h. Students have alleged, and we have also confirmed through our sources, that despite repeated complaints by the victims and their parents to the director and the principal, they have simply looked the other way and in fact have shielded the wrongdoers, instead of taking any prompt action. We would like to draw the kind attention of your kin self that non-cognizance of these complaints on part of the director and the principal, apart from amounting to gross dereliction of duty, also results in very serious violation of the letter and spirit of sections 9, 16 and 19 of the POCSO Act 2. 012 and Section 92 of the RPD Act 2016. They have also acted in gross breach of the bounden common law duty to afford protection to the children studying in the school as their custodians. In fact, under Section 9 of POCSO Act, sexual exploitation of children is a cognizable offense requiring immediate intervention by the competent authorities of MSVH. We would seek the indulgence of your kin self, particularly towards Section 9K of POCSO Act, which reads: No. Aggravated sexual assault. K. Whoever, taking advantage of a child's mental or physical disability, commits sexual assault on the child, is said to commit aggravated sexual assault. In this connection, we would like to bring the kind attention of your kin self the FIR, lodged by the President of Child Rights Committee, Dehradun dated the 18th of August 2018, marked as Annexure B. The FIR was a consequence of report of sexual assault of children in media. Probably under media pressure, Ms. Kavita Sharma, President of Child Rights Committee, Dehradun registered the FIR. It is not clear whether detailed statement of the children was recorded under sections 24 or 25 of the POCSO Act. In our humble submission, the contents of the FIR are extremely half-hearted and hazy. The same merely reports the name of only one teacher, that too with incorrect credentials. His name is mentioned as Suchit Nagar, whereas his correct name is Mr. Suchit Narang. The FIR is merely lodged under sections 9 and 10 of the POCSO Act against Mr. Suchit Narang. After having a dialogue with the victim, we are quite sure that there are more than 15 victims who have come forward and are willing to have their statements recorded. We apprehend that there would be many more who would not right now be speaking, given the hostile environment of threats and pressure created by the present administration of the institute. It is quite baffling the callousness with which FIR is recorded. It does not contain an iota about abetting role of the Anuradha Mohit Dalmia, director, and Kamalbir Singh, principal, who appear to have prima facie acted in violation of sections 9, 16 and 19 of the POCSO Act by continuously shielding the guilty teachers. In this connection, we would also want to draw your attention to Section 92 of RPD Act, reproduced below. Banve. Punishment for offences of atrocities. Whoever intentionally insults or intimidates with intent to humiliate a person with disability in any place within public view. B. Assaults or uses force to any person with disability with intent to dishonor him or outrage the modesty of a woman with disability. C. Having the actual charge or control over a person with disability voluntarily or knowingly denies food or fluids to him or her. D. Being in a position to dominate the will of a child or woman with disability and uses that position to exploit her sexually. Voluntarily injures, damages, or interferes with the use of any limb or sense or any supporting device of a person with disability. F. Performs, conducts, or directs any medical procedure to be performed on a woman with disability which leads to or is likely to lead to termination of pregnancy without her express consent except in cases where medical procedure for termination of pregnancy is done in severe cases of disability and D. With the opinion of a registered medical practitioner and also with the consent of the guardian of the woman with disability. Shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 6 months but which may extend to 5 years and with fine. Uddharan Chin. As is evident, the director and the principal are also guilty of non-compliance of this section and have in fact abated in the crime by shielding the accused music teachers. We would like to draw the kind attention of your kin self towards the total apathy and serious non-compliance of POCSO Act B. By the authorities of MSVH and N.i.b.h. It was bounden duty of the director and the principal to refer the victim children for medical examination and psychiatric counseling under Section 27 of the POCSO Act. Is it not ironical that despite being a medical doctor, Ms. Geetika Mathur, who is the in-charge principal of MSVH and N.i.b.h currently, has miserably failed in the adherence of her duties under the aforementioned sections and Mr. K.V.S. Rao, the in-charge director, has also abetted by indulging in insensitive neutrality in the matter. It is surprising that institution has neither the child policy protection policy in place nor any grievance redressal mechanism to entertain the complaints of the students. The institute has also failed to establish parents association. In other words, the institute has intentionally tried every trick in the book to stonewall the voices of the students. As reported by the students in media, instead of acting sternly against the erring teachers, the director and the principal have often indulged in victim blaming and shaming. A charter that includes 31 major demands has also been released by the striking students. The same include inter alia outdated computer equipments and science labs, unavailability of teachers, inadequate security measures for girls, absence of essential sports equipments, and constant deterioration of food quality. You himself would appreciate that even a cursory look at the demands presented in the charter shows the institute's complete apathy and growing inadequacies in terms of providing decent conditions and safe environment to the children. The present environment in the institute is not at all conducive for prosecution of studies by the students. URGENTATTENTION. We are given to understand that the institute is determined to hush up the matter and plans to close down the school for next 15 days under the pretext that the buildings in the institution have become inherently dangerous for human inhabitation. At the cost of reputation, we would request you to prevent this action as the same is aimed at sweeping the matter under the carpet. At any rate, if the buildings are dangerous for inhabitation, the same amounts to aggravated apathy and negligence on part of the authorities, because it is legally and ethically inconceivable to expose the students to dangerous stay in buildings which are debilitated. Students have also reported that they are being coerced to give an undertaking to not resort to striking. Such an undertaking is totally uncalled for and being arbitrary violates Article 14, 19 and 21 of the Constitution of India. Fact-finding committee. We strongly urge your kinself to convene a fact-finding committee with impartial observers, who would visit the institution and have dialogue with the students. Our association is ready and willing to be the part of the investigation because as alumni we have the first-hand experience of what should be the enabling environment in an institution. Urgent steps. We would call upon you kinself to direct National Commission for Women, National Commission for Child Rights and Chief Commissioner of Persons with Disability and National Human Rights Commission to send independent investigation teams to boost the confidence of the children. This is necessary because Child Rights Committee, Dehradun has simply trivialized the issue by way of lodgement of a half-hearted and weak fur. We also strongly condemn the inaction on the part of police, as there has been an elapse of 9 days and even a semblance of investigation has not commenced. You himself is also kindly urged to direct the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment to order inquiry against the director and principal and put them under suspension during the pendency of the inquiry. We are also given to understand that the Department of Empowerment of Pond has given clean chit to Mrs. Anuradha Dalmia by simply transferring her from Dehradun to Hyderabad. The same simply goes to show the insensitivity and apathy of the ministry towards students with disability, a very vulnerable section of the society. We are also deeply disappointed by the passive response of the state government of Uttarakhand. We would also like to bring to your notice that an unqualified and unsuitable medical doctor is said to have been given the charge of the principal of the school. This is most shocking and adds insult to the injury of the students. We demand that in the pendency of the suspension of the incumbent director and the principal, suitable and qualified persons with visual impairment must be appointed on the said posts. India has signed and ratified United Nations Conventions of Rights of Persons with Disability. The same mandates the government to demonstrate that her actions are louder than the words. The maladministrators in the institute have been given too long a rope, and the time has arrived for a concrete and serious action against the erring authorities. We would urge your kinself to not to reappoint Mrs. Anuradha Dalmia and Mr. Kamalbir Singh as the director and the principal, as the students have completely lost faith in them and virtually in their absence to the authorities are subjecting the students to immense pressure and mental torture. As a